Subway 500 in Martinsville, Virginia, coming to the green flag after wrapping up the 6th caution of this race already. Our Singular Wireless Race Talk poll: which 2004 short track race was your favorite on the occasion of the final short track race of the season? Kurt Busch winning his 3rd straight Bristol March race. Rusty getting his big win, ending the long dry streak here in Martinsville. Junior's victory under the lights in Bristol, or Jeremy Mayfield clinching his place in the chase with his Richmond win. Give us a vote.
Well, I got a vote, but I don't think I'm going to win. All right, here we go. First 3 cars chose not to pit, not to change tires. And that's going to cost Brian Vickers 3rd spot, because Kurt Busch in 97 has those fresh tires, and by he goes into 3rd.
And that's the other big thing for the pit stops, is Kurt Busch got out ahead of Tony Stewart. So all that work Tony did to pass him on the racetrack, Kurt's crew got back for him on pit road. Dave, got something for us?
Yeah, Alan, in the garage right now, Dale Jarrett's crew going to work on his car. The rear end, just really got bent in. In fact, the track bar is bent into the fuel cell area, so that's what they're mainly working on. I just chatted with DJ for a second, and he said, I'd rather not talk on camera right now. Pretty upset.
Also behind the wall after this crash are Jimmy Spencer and Bobby Hamilton Jr. getting their cars fixed up.
There you see Vickers up in the 25 car up high, getting slid up and passed by the cars that have fresh tires.
And that preferred bottom. Oh, see, there was just no grip at all for Vickers on the outside. He got on the outside, Bill, and slid right up. I thought he was going up to the wall.
It can be an adventure out there, that 25 car of Brian Vickers. They're really trying to use pit strategy to get up front. They're pitting when the leaders aren't, then they're trying to stay out. Obviously, it's not working well this time. He is going the wrong way, BP.
I think pit strategy here is putting 4 tires on every time you can, because obviously the cars that have 4 tires down on the bottom, and he's going to the back in a hurry right now.
He's got 42 lap older tires than these cars that are passing him. He last stopped at lap 66. Same thing for Sterling Marlin and Jamie McMurray, the top 2 right now in the race.
And right now, McMurray in 42 car is all over the back of the 40, trying to get the lead, but Sterling does not want to give it away, Marty.
Of course he doesn't want to give it away, BP, and that's the plan today, is to do everything the opposite of what the leaders do. Exactly what you guys were talking about. When they come down, they're going to stay out. When they stay out, they're going to come down pit road, and that's give them track position twice. Tony Glover is committed to it until the end of the race when they think they can run with the leaders.
That might be a good plan. If it works out, the way the cautions come out, it may play right into your hand.
I thought you just said it wasn't a good plan.
No, it's always a good plan to come in and put tires on. But like I said, if they're going to do it on the opposite.
What we've seen here at Martinsville in the past several races before the resurfacing was guys taking 2 tires to try and get that track position from the back of the pack.
Right.
This is a different twist on a pit strategy to try and get some track position where you're still getting 4 tires, but now you've got that older set of tires, and you try to just hold on to as much of that track position as you can.
As long as they don't run out of tires before the caution comes back out. If they have to pit under the green, they're going to lose 2 or 3 laps, and that could cost them.
Oh, 42 car slipped off the corner, almost got in the outside retaining wall, but Kurt Busch not able to. Look, he got on the curb and threw the car sideways. Talking about the 97 of Kurt Busch.
It's another one of the unique things about this racetrack, that yellow curving down the inside of the speedway that's not as tall as it used to be. They kind of lowered that down a little bit when they renovated the corners, but still it's there, and you bounce off it and it sends you for a ride.
Yeah, and you have to have your left side tires right along that curb if you can.
Yeah, the closer you can be to the curb and not hit it, the better off you are. All right, Kurt Busch gets a great run off the corner, but still not enough to get on the inside of Jamie McMurray. Jamie knows if he moves up and gives Kurt Busch the inside, he's going to lose not 1 spot, but 2, 3.
1-3.
Okay, there goes 1.
Here comes 2, and Rusty's got to hurry up and get on the back bumper of the 20 car to pull it off, but nope, he wasn't close enough to do it, so lost 2 spots.
Jeff Gordon just kind of got knocked out of the way up in turn 4 last lap by. Ken Schrader moved him aside to pick up a spot, and Greg Biffle followed him through. How about Jeff Gordon's car, Bill?
Well, the way they ran last week at Charlotte, he could probably be in Richmond right now and still win this race, but that car is not handling very well, and he's talking to crew chief Robbie Loomis about it.
I'm just trying to figure out how we can pass and get to the front, because right now all I'm doing is playing defense, trying to keep them guys behind me.
Loomis told Jeff on the radio, please be patient. We will make that car better. We will be there at the end. I believe him.
So do I. I watched that race last week at Lowe's. It was unbelievable. Kurt, the 24 car of Jeff Gordon couldn't outrun anybody practically, and he finished second before it was all over.
Here's the bump a couple laps ago.
Another bump. Another bump.
Pardon me, I'm coming through. So Schrader's up to 18th, Biffle 19th, and now Jeff Gordon trying to hang on to 20th spot with Elliott Sadler working him over. Playing defense. How about the championship standings as they run on the racetrack right now?
Kurt Busch now almost 50 points in front of Dale Earnhardt Jr. because Kurt Busch is having a fantastic run. Junior's not that bad, but he's in 6th position, and Kurt Busch in 2nd, about to take the lead, or trying to take the lead. As I said, trying to take the lead.
Working on Sterling Marlin.
Boy, you can just tell when you get in the outside in the center of the corner, you lose a car length if you're on high groove.
So Kurt Busch back out in front. He had already led earlier in the race and collected those 5 championship bonus points. Tony Stewart through, Rusty Wallace through, and the older tires starting to show on that 40 car for Sterling Marlin.
But he's still not too bad. He's just in 4th position, and if he can ride on to the next caution flag, and let's face it, there's going to be another caution flag in 30, 40 laps.
Past the 1/4 point of today's Subway 500 in Martinsville, Virginia. 5 races to go in the chase for the Nextel Cup. The championship leader, Kurt Busch, is out in front of this race. Through the field is next.
141 laps of 500 on the board at the half-mile speedway in Martinsville, Virginia. Sold-out house. Tough to get a ticket to this short track event. Big day for Kurt Busch. He leads the field. Let's take you through the field and start with Matt.
Kurt Busch, one of 2 drivers to lead at least 1 lap in all 6 chase races this year. Currently about 1/10 to 2/10 of a second faster than Rusty Wallace, who's now moved into 2nd. Air pressure change has helped the 97. Meanwhile, the 2, they made a lot of adjustments. Wedge, track bar, and air pressure. The spring rubber, Dave, they pulled out on the first stop, made the car go really tight. Now they're trying to free it up.
Matt, Tony Stewart had that 2nd position. He'd moved up a couple since the restart on lap 114, but the car is still a little bit tight in the center. They've adjusted the track bar, they've adjusted the wedge, and it still hasn't gone away. Marty?
Dave, now 76 laps on Sterling Marlin's tires compared to everybody else who have only about 20 laps on their tires. Sterling says the car's tight, but it's not too bad. Hanging in there on those old tires in 4th. Matty?
About 10 car lengths back is his teammate in the 42, Jamie McMurray. Yesterday became the 8th different driver to win a truck, bush, and cup race in their career. Trying to win a short track race here at Martinsville. Says the car is just a little bit on the tight side, Marty.
On the last run, Matt Dale Earnhardt Jr. said his car was tight, so they made several changes to it. Remember, they didn't make any on the first stop. He got mad at the crew for that. Air pressure, wedge, and track bar. Car a lot better now. Matty?
Terry Labonte running solidly in the top 10. Hasn't won.
At Kansas and 36th last week at Charlotte. Car's been good. Minor chassis adjustment and air pressure on the last stop, Marty.
235 to 240, that's not too bad. Car starts out a little bit tight, actually gets looser the longer he runs. Weber?
Well, I wanted to get Jimmy Johnson in there as he was making the pass. has not said much on the radio. Chad Knaus's crew chief just told him, you're fast, you're as fast as the guys at the front. We just have to figure out a way to get you there. Matt, how about the famous 43?
The famous 43 running 12th, started top 10, knocking on the door to get back in. The car loose. He said earlier he also feels like, Bill, they made the wrong decision in gear. Needs a little more gear. Tight from the middle, loose off.
Jeremy Mayfield in that 19 car driving for Ray Evernham, involved in early trouble, but they worked on the car, made it a little bit better, has pitted out a sequence with a few guys, but is holding his own right now. How about his teammate, Matt?
Well, they're working on that 9 car, Bill. Earlier he said the car was just way too loose. He was really working on that right rear, hanging it out. They've made an air pressure adjustment and track bar. He still says, though, it is sliding a little bit. Meanwhile, Bobby Labonte in the 18, running 15th, around the same area he started the day. Hasn't made a lot of progress. The car still tight from the middle off today.
Matty, the 6 car of Mark Martin has been pretty good today. In fact, they made no changes on the first 2 stops, and it went from being a little bit tight to loosening up on its own. Not bad for Mark. The 49 car of Ken Schrader having a pretty good run today. In fact, Ken usually runs well here and usually finishes. It had been 21 races since he had failed to finish until this spring when an accident put him out. Trying to keep his good record up today. The 16 car of Greg Biffle on the last run, it was just a little bit tight in the middle of the corner. They made a track bar and an air pressure adjustment to take care of that for Biffle. Marty?
State Virginia boy Elliott Sadler only has 1 top 10 in his 11th Martinsville starts, 19th right now. Needed forward bite, more grip off the corners on the last stop. Pound out of both rear tires. Now he says he has good forward bite off the corners. David?
For Scott Wimmer, Marty, they made an air pressure adjustment after the first run, which really improved the car. But on the last pit stop, they needed to lower the track bar because it was losing forward bite off of the corner. 25 car of Kyle Petty. On the last stop, they made a 4-tire change. No changes to the chassis. He's been good, neutral on the chassis all day long. Marty?
Travis Quappel still hanging in there, Dave. 22nd right now on the racetrack. His car has been tight for most of the day. It's been a learning experience, but you hear him on the radio. He's very calm with a calm voice, even though this is his first ever Nextel Cup start. Weber?
Well, Marty, Jeff Gordon is a 5-time winner at this track, but he's really going to have to work hard if he wants to get number 6. He's only about 6 seconds in front of leader Kurt Busch, and on the radio, this is the worst the car has been all day, Dave.
Matt Kenseth started the chase for the Nextel Cup today in 7th position. He currently runs in 28th. The car has been very loose all day long and got looser during about the 3rd run. At the last stop, it was still loose, so they took a spring rubber out of the right rear. That generally corrects the problem.
And there you go, through the field, the top 23 plus championship contenders that are on the lead lap. And we've got 32 of the 43 starters on the lead lap at the moment. Kurt Busch pacing the field. Here's the guy that's really been tearing up through the pack the last few laps, BP.
That 48 car, Jimmy Johnson, he just passed the 12 car, got by him, got by the 30 car, and now just goes by the 5.
Man, so that's up to 8th place for Jimmy Johnson from back about 12th. Your votes in the Singular Wireless Race Talk poll, favorite short track race of 2004.
Oh, can you imagine Junior winning at Bristol?
That's what you thought would win?
That's what I thought would win.
And what did you want to win?
I chose Mayfield at Richmond. I thought that was spectacular.
Me too. We appreciate your participation. Speaking of Junior, loses a spot.
Kevin Harvick. See, that puts Harvick up in 6th. Junior back to 7th. My math is good, isn't it?
You're in. It is fantastic. It's Mark Martin working over Casey Kane. Mark's going to get the spot. And that is for 13th spot.
Trading a little paint there on the way through, maybe? Mark's car looks pretty good. Kurt Busch, championship leader, is out in front of the Subway 500. 161 of the 500 laps are complete from Martinsville, Virginia. You're watching NASCAR on NBC.